Story 1. The Exorcism of Anneliese Michel. A tragic tale of possession and exorcism in the small German town of Klingenberg am Main. In the early 1970s, a young woman named Anneliese Michel began experiencing a series of inexplicable and terrifying events that would eventually lead to one of the most infamous cases of exorcism in history. Her story is a harrowing and tragic account of possession, belief, and desperation. Anneliese Michel was born on September 21, 1952, into a devoutly religious Catholic family. From a young age, she was deeply spiritual and known for her gentle, compassionate nature. However, her idyllic childhood would take a dark turn in her teenage years. In 1968, when Anneliese was just 16 years old, she began experiencing strange phenomena. She would hear voices, often speaking to her in a harsh, unnatural tone. She saw disturbing, shadowy figures that seemed to follow her. These manifestations deeply troubled Anneliese and her family, leading them to consult various medical professionals in search of an explanation. Over the next several years, Anneliese's condition deteriorated. She began to exhibit bizarre behavior, including self-harm, aggression, and speaking in multiple voices and languages that she had no prior knowledge of. She was diagnosed with epilepsy and was prescribed medication, but it seemed to offer little relief. Desperate to find answers, her family continued to seek medical help. Anneliese underwent numerous tests and treatments, including psychiatric evaluations. Despite their efforts, her condition only worsened, and she became increasingly isolated and tormented by her experiences. As Anneliese's health declined, she and her family turned to their Catholic faith for guidance. They believed that her affliction might be of a spiritual, rather than a medical, nature. They sought counsel from local priests, including Father Arnold Renz and Pastor Ernst Alt, who began to consider the possibility of demonic possession. In 1975, Anneliese's condition took a terrifying turn. She reportedly began to display superhuman strength, speaking in strange languages and exhibiting a deep aversion to religious symbols and objects. It was during this time that the decision was made to perform an exorcism on Anneliese to cast out the demons that were believed to be tormenting her. Between 1975 and 1976, a series of exorcisms were conducted on Anneliese Michel. The rituals were performed by Father Arnold Renz and Pastor Ernst Alt, who were granted permission by the Catholic Church after careful consideration of her case. The exorcisms were carried out in secret and took place in Anneliese's family home. During these sessions, Anneliese displayed astonishing and disturbing behavior. She would growl, spit, and speak in a voice that was not her own. The exorcists reported witnessing her levitating, contorting her body in unnatural ways, and even manifesting physical stigmata, similar to the wounds of Christ. The exorcisms were physically and emotionally exhausting for all involved. Despite the intense efforts of the priests and Anneliese's family, her condition continued to worsen. Her body weakened, and she refused to eat, believing that her suffering was a form of atonement for the sins of the world. She became emaciated and frail, and her health rapidly deteriorated. On July 1, 1976, Anneliese Michel passed away in her home at the age of 23. The official cause of death was determined to be malnutrition and dehydration. An autopsy revealed that she weighed only 68 pounds at the time of her death. The death of Anneliese Michel resulted in a legal trial in 1978 that gained international attention. Both the exorcists and her parents were charged with negligent homicide. During the trial, the court was presented with hours of audio recordings of the exorcisms, in which Anneliese's tortured and haunting cries could be heard. Despite the disturbing evidence, the court ultimately found the accused guilty of manslaughter rather than negligent homicide, and they were sentenced to 6 months in jail, which were later suspended. The case of Anneliese Michel continues to be a subject of debate and controversy. Some view it as a tragic story of a young woman suffering from severe mental illness, while others see it as a genuine case of possession and a testament to the power of evil forces. Anneliese's story has inspired books, documentaries, and even the 2005 film, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. It remains a deeply unsettling and mysterious chapter in the annals of exorcism and the unexplained, challenging our understanding of the boundary between the physical and the spiritual, and the limits of human belief and suffering. The case of Anneliese Michel, with its eerie audio recordings and distressing accounts of possession, will forever be a haunting tale that forces us to question the unknown and the complex interplay between faith, science, and the supernatural. Story 2. The Dyatlov Pass Incident, Unraveling the Mystery. It was the winter of 1959 in the Soviet Union, and a group of 9 experienced hikers embarked on an expedition into the Ural Mountains. Led by the skilled and charismatic Igor Dyatlov, the team consisted of young men and women, all eager to conquer the challenges of the harsh, snow-covered terrain. Little did they know that their journey would end in a mystery that continues to baffle investigators and thrill conspiracy theorists to this day. The group began their trek with high spirits, documenting their progress through photographs and diary entries. They were well prepared and in excellent physical condition, making their mysterious fate all the more perplexing. As the days passed, the hikers ventured deeper into the wilderness, pushing the limits of their endurance. They soon found themselves traversing the slopes of the Kholat Syakhl mountain, which translates to Dead Mountain in the local Mansi language. This ominous name would soon take on a chilling significance. On the night of February 2nd, the group set up camp on the eastern slope of the mountain. They had planned to reach a nearby valley the next day, but nature had other plans. A fierce snowstorm descended upon them, and it was decided that they would make camp on the mountainside for the night. What happened next remains a mystery, as there were no survivors to recount the events. Weeks passed, and the families of the hikers grew increasingly worried. When a search and rescue team was finally dispatched to find them, the scene they discovered was nothing short of horrifying. The hikers' tent, torn from the inside, was found partially buried in the snow. It was clear that they had made a frantic and unexplained escape in the middle of the night. Footprints led investigators down the slope, revealing that some of the hikers were not wearing proper clothing and had fled in bare feet or socks. The first 2 bodies were found in a forested area near the camp. They were shirtless and shoeless, with gruesome injuries that suggested they had tried to climb a tree to escape something. Their presence added to the growing sense of unease and confusion. Over the next few days, the remaining hikers' bodies were discovered, scattered over several hundred meters in the forest. One hiker had a fractured skull, while another had a missing tongue. Several of them had injuries consistent with a high impact force, as if they had been in a severe car accident. Their injuries were so severe that some bodies were found with internal organs damaged without any external trauma. Adding to the mystery, their clothing contained high levels of radiation. This puzzling detail, combined with the gruesome injuries and unexplained escape from the tent, fueled speculation about what had transpired that fateful night. The Soviet authorities quickly sealed off the area, and the investigation was shrouded in secrecy. The official explanation cited a compelling unknown force as the cause of their deaths, which only served to deepen the enigma. Over the years, various theories have been proposed to explain the Dyatlov Pass incident. Some suggest that military testing in the area may have played a role, and others speculate about an avalanche or a violent confrontation with indigenous Mansi people. Conspiracy theories have also emerged, involving everything from alien abductions to Yeti attacks. The truth, however, remains elusive, and the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries in the annals of exploration. The memory of those brave hikers who met their tragic end on that desolate mountain slope lingers in the minds of those who have tried to unravel the mystery. The Dyatlov Pass incident serves as a stark reminder of the uncharted territories of the human experience, where the line between reality and the unexplained remains blurred, and where the forces of nature and the unknown sometimes conspire to terrify and baffle even the most intrepid adventurers. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel.